Hey, what's up, guys? Me and Mir are back, and today we're going to discuss a sensitive topic. We're going to talk about an early tier list for Street Fighter V. A lot of people have been asking my opinion on this, and we got to do a huge disclaimer, Mir, before we even begin. But guys, don't take this video seriously, please. And it's just early thoughts.
Isn't that the whole point?
Yes, and we're basing off this tier list from Topanga, because it was pretty recent when they did their tier list. That's Mago and Tokido, and this is also after Evo Japan, so we kind of have an idea of all the new tech and stuff found and potential of these characters. Well, an early result, anyways. So
yeah, and as far as the Topanga tier list goes, we understand where they're coming from. Like, we looked at their discussion about their placements of the characters in each tier. And, well, first of all, I guess the biggest disclaimer is that we don't believe an S tier exists, or a C tier. Like, it's way more compact, I guess.
Yeah. Like, S tier would mean, like, the character's, like, broken.
Mm-hmm.
So, something super abusable. But I don't think Street Fighter V is that imbalanced, so we just have an A+. So,
and Infiltration just showed us that you can win with any character, so...
Yeah, well, that's not to say we put Juri as, like, the worst character either, though, so that's fine, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so let's get started here. Let's begin with A+, our highest tier, and we have 4 characters. Now, if there's any, like, disagreements with, like, Topanga or something, this is our list, but it's mostly based on Topanga's list, and if they change anything, I'll mention it. So, A+, we have Rashid, Abigail, Guile, and Akuma. So, by the way, guys, this is in no particular order. It doesn't mean the characters on the left are stronger than the characters on the right. Just all the characters are in this category. So with Rashid, Mir, I mean, I think this one is a no-brainer. I think a lot of people would agree that Rashid is definitely one of the best characters in the game right now. It took Rashid a long time, actually, to really establish him as a character that's really strong. But now we have so many good Rashid players in tournament play that it's really easy now to see the character's potential. I mean, honestly, Rashid, he plays almost every matchup exactly the same. He pretty much does what he wants. He's got insane pressure.
Yeah, the thing that makes him really strong is the fact that he can stick to you for quite a long time, and that gives him a lot of opportunities to open you up. He's got an overhead, got 2 really powerful V triggers. There are only 2 bars. A lot of mix-up potential, a lot of pressure, block string. In general, he's got anti-air is 2. Especially now with Arcade Edition, it's crouching me and punch up there.
Yeah.
Very versatile character with strong offense, yeah.
Very, very unique character. And yeah, like you said, man, V-Trigger 2 is really, really strong. A lot of Rashid players were rocking it because it's just really good. Which is surprising because his V-Trigger 1 is so good too. So,
yeah, exactly.
Rashid deserves the A+ spot. Next up, Abigail. Why is Abigail an A+ mirror?
Well, Public Enemy number 1 is an A+ tier because for some reason it got buffed with Arcade Edition, and now he's got really strong light conversions that I guess he didn't really lack before, but now they're even stronger.
Yes.
He's got armor and basically all of his special moves. He's got very powerful V-Trigger 1. V-Trigger 2 is powerful as well, too, like more than we expected. Just really high damage and combat potential. You make 1 or 2 mistakes against Abigail and you're probably dead. Especially low stun, low health characters.
Or if you're Tokido, you make 1 mistake and you're dead.
Yeah, like low stun, low health characters can get stunned in a single combo with the back hard punch loop.
Which for some reason is still in the game. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm going to predict that they're going to address that.
Oh, on 3.5? Yeah.
Yeah.
So... yeah, Abigail, man, I honestly thought the character, they were going to nerf his health or nerf his damage in Season 3. But instead they just buffed Abigail, so it's really crazy. They definitely want him to be a top tier character, especially if we get a 3.5 and they don't touch him. But yeah, man, I mean, he just has so much comeback potential and so much health to work with. And like you said, they buffed his lights, and basically Abigail can tick you with a normal, like a light kick, and then you're scared of the throw, and then he can tick again. If you happen to hit with that light normal, he converts it into a knockdown. If he doesn't, he can still grab you, and then he gets 1 more tick after that. It just seems like too much pressure for a character like that insane. So
Especially considering how big he is. His mobility is not even that bad.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of ways to hit you from almost full screen. His sweep is really powerful. Like we saw that punishing Birdie, like going under him with EX ball heads and whatnot. So it's like, he's a surprisingly versatile character for the kind of archetype he's trying to be.
Okay, next up we got Guile. Guile has been a strong character last season, but this season it's just really cranked up because either top tier characters got nerfed in some way, and Guile's just fine. And now his V-Trigger 2 really shoots him up the tier list because, as you can see, Daigo, man, I mean, that V-Trigger 2 is so powerful. Very, very low risk, converts to high damage, really complements Guile's when he goes aggressive. And it helps zone too. And
like
go ahead.
Oh, being only 2 bars, that also means that you don't have to wait too much to get it, and it really complements your offense, increases your damage without needing the corner for the loops.
Yeah.
The better anti-airs that give Oki with the fireball like chasing after you, and in general, he's got good matchups with the strong characters.
He does.
So that's one of the other reasons why he's up there.
He's also a character that doesn't seem to have to commit. You know what I mean? Like, Guile can knock you down. He doesn't have to go in on you. He could just keep zoning. You know what I mean? So it's just he's just a very safe character, and he could dictate the pace. Yeah.
Yes.
Very, very good. Moving on to Akuma. So Akuma was regarded as like top 3 by a lot of people last season. This season, I mean, he got a slight nerf here and there, but he's still just so strong utility-wise. He just has like one of the most robust kits out of all the characters in the game still. And even though like one of his biggest changes was like his forward hard punch being -2 on block, so he loses some pressure there, but now he's like +5, so he can convert it to even more damage and force stand. So I mean, it's still there. And then we saw Tokido rocking V-Trigger 2 as well. That seems to have some potential against certain matchups too.
Yeah, that's true. V-Trigger 2 is especially powerful for converting off of stray hits during pressure strings.
Yeah.
Because you can like really deal a lot of damage. And you can also extend your pressure with that because you can do stuff like EX red fireball on block into a normal EX fireball using the V-Trigger 2 into another red EX fireball. There's a lot of crazy stuff that can happen with that V-Trigger. And it's 2 bars again. You don't have Demon, but I mean, you don't really need it with a 2 bars V-Trigger.
I think Akuma will always be top tier until they severely nerf something in his kit, because it's just that's what makes him so good in general.
Yeah, he's always plus really good normals that reach kind of far for a character like that. Demon flip, a lot of approaches from the air, from the ground, good footsie tools, projectiles. Yeah, just very, very versatile, and like he can deal with most matchups really well, and can bully certain characters really easily.
Okay, let's move on to the category A now. Now, we specifically put 6 characters here, so we'd have a top 10. The top 10 characters would be an A+ and A. So we'll go from there. I mean, Topanga wrote a ton of characters in the A tier list. So we shifted some around here. But it is worth mentioning that they put S rank, they put Birdie in there. That's the only one we didn't agree with, but we'll get to Birdie in a bit. So let's start with A. We got Cammy, Menat, Kolin, Necalli, Laura, and then Bison. So Cammy, I mean, there's not much to say about Cammy. She just doesn't change much. They keep her always intact. She's got better tick throws now too, as well, with the light punch, pushback, buff, or collision box change from all the characters. And you said her V-Trigger 2 actually has some potential?
Yeah, I've seen really cool stuff with it, and the mix-up potential is definitely there, especially when it's using pressure string. In general, she's a very solid character, good anti-airs, good damage, powerful conversions, a little bit low on health, but I mean that didn't keep Akuma off of the top tiers. So Yeah, definitely an all-rounder character that can deal with most situations.
Kazunoko's still dealing really well with her.
Yeah, she's just not very, or at least not too abusable.
Yeah,
I would
she's
say.
a very
Like, she doesn't have
honest
anything.
top
Yeah.
tier character, you know? I know it sounds silly to say, but she's a very honest character. Seriously, she is. But they did nerf her V reversal pretty hard too.
That's true.
That was a big deal. Okay, moving on. Menat. Yeah, you and me actually discussed this a bit. The Topanga put her in A as well, just so you guys know. So Menat has really moved up. One of the biggest reasons why I feel like Menat is so strong right now is because of her new special move, Soul Spark. So what makes this move so good is not the fact that it's got a giant hitbox. I think we discussed this before in a previous video, Mir, but it's the fact that it calls back the orb instantly, which was one of her biggest weaknesses, is that when she throws the orb out when she's trying to anti-zone someone or try to commit to something, if you get the drop on her, she's in big trouble. But now she has a move that brings it back right away, and it's an attack as well. And I also used to say that Menat always depended on her V-trigger. She was a very V-trigger dependent character. I don't think she is anymore. I think she can fight really well without it. I think her normals got buffed in Season 3. Her anti-airs are more consistent, and obviously Infiltration has shown what this character is capable of. I mean, we should also mention Goichi. Goichi showed last season Menat really well too, but I think Menat is a very strong character now.
Yeah, Menat definitely a much powerful character, much more powerful character this season. Like you said, Soul Spark is a great addition to her kit.
Yeah.
It also converts to decent damage, and if they're close enough, you can convert into more damage. So yeah, she just got buffed from last season. They just added to her, like they just gave her things. So definitely deserving of being here, and can deal with a lot of zoners pretty well because of the long range of her normals.
Okay, moving on to Kolin.
Well, Colin's a special case here because we didn't see a lot of play, like in tournaments. But V-Trigger 2 is one of the biggest reasons why she's up here.
Yeah.
A lot of people fear, and justifiably so, fear the V-Trigger just because the mix-up potential is so strong. It's only 2 bars.
Yeah, 2 bars. Like, I don't understand why it's 2 bars.
It just complements the character so well.
Yeah.
And with the few buffs she's got, like the anti-airs, you know, her normals got buffed. Some target combos got buffed. And she's just overall way better than she used to be.
Yeah. And Momochi is doing really well with her too, which is surprising to switch to Kolin. So he did really well in Evo Japan. I think they just nerfed all of Kolin's scrubby stuff. Her V skill, her jumping hard kick. But all of her honest stuff is like buffed. And that new target combo, well not new, but like they made it -2 on block, and it's really strong right now. So
yeah, from -8.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
Big change.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, let's talk about Necalli. Necalli's kind of a strange case. He's also another character that doesn't change too much. I mean, he got hit by a couple of universal nerfs, such as nerfing his standing light punch again, nerfing his throw loops, but he still has his back throw loop, which isn't as good because you are not putting him in the corner. But it doesn't change the fact that I still feel Necalli has the strongest V-trigger in the game. And they added a moveset to it. So
yeah, the fact that now you get a new special move, although it's harder to get your V-trigger because they nerfed the V-gauge.
Oh yeah, on the V-skill.
From V-skill, yeah. But its new V-triggers, although they're very similar, they give him access to 2 new powerful special moves. In general, like he's again kind of like Cammy or Akuma. He's a very versatile character where he's got anti-airs, he's got normal anti-airs, he's got pressure, a fireball, or I mean, I guess it's not really a fireball, but it works like one. It's probably the best one in the game at that. And yeah, very powerful V-trigger. It just can deal with a lot of matchups really well, and that's why he's up here. And like you said, didn't really change much. He's always been very, very strong.
He's still the true Ryu of the game, still to this day. Okay, moving on to Laura. So Laura, I mean, it's funny, they did nerf her medium kick like everybody wanted, but then they gave her a whole bunch of buffs as well. Her mix-up potential is now even more insane from the fireball cancels, and her V-Trigger 1, which we thought was nerfed, was actually buffed because they changed the 3 bars, but now it lasts much longer, of course, and it's much stronger because of those V-skill cancels we're talking about. So Laura just seems really, really strong right now. We don't have too many Laura players, though, to show the potential of that character. But it's definitely there, man. I mean, if you guys seen any of those mix-up videos, it looks insane.
Yeah. Yeah, again, kind of like Rashid being Laura being a very high-pressure, like rush-down character. She can play a lot of matchups kind of the same way, and the mix-ups, like you said, are very, very strong, especially with V-Trigger 1.
Yeah.
V-Trigger 2, I mean, we didn't really see it that much.
It doesn't look too good.
Yeah, V-Trigger 1 just seems way better.
Yeah. Hopefully we get some Laura representation soon in these tournaments.
Yeah.
Okay, M. Bison. So, M. Bison, you and me were kind of conflicted. We're thinking either putting him here or Chun-Li there. But we'll explain our reasoning in a bit. But M. Bison, I mean, still a pressure monster. He still destroys some matchups. He still has some really good matchups. And his V-Trigger 2's got a lot of potential as well. That Psycho Crusher and his burst output is really strong now. And even though they nerfed his throw loop, his throw damage is so high now. It's really good.
Yeah, that's true.
Considering his throw range. They buffed his walk speed, which isn't too crazy, but they did.
Yeah, it's a small change that helps.
Yeah. I was either gonna put Chun-Li or Birdie here, but we thought M. Bison.
Yeah, Bison overall, one of the reasons why he probably deserves to be in here is just because he's very oppressive with his strings and pressure in general. Like, it's really hard to escape from Bison's pressure, even though his movement speed's so bad.
Yeah,
he still has a lot of ways to stick to you. And overall, like, he got better. Even though his anti-airs are kind of slow, now he has a more reliable one. So that's something that, you know, the Bison players definitely were looking for. Devil Reverse got changed a little bit, as it should have, but yeah, it still has really powerful tools, for sure. And for what he does, like, it's not as versatile as the other characters in this tier, but it is just very, very oppressive when the time comes. Yeah.
And like I said, if I was gonna take him down a spot, I'd either replace him with Chun-Li or Birdie. So it's pretty close. Okay, moving on to the next tier list, we got B+. So these are characters that are like mid-tier, but they're really, really high up mid-tier. So they're just, I would say they're balanced characters, you know? Like, they're strong, very viable, and they're just upper mid.
Yeah, so, they're strong characters but they're honest. They don't have abusable stuff, or at least not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Okay, B+. We got Urien, Mika, Nash, Chun-Li, Ibuki, Karin, Birdie, and Dhalsim. So Urien, I mean, why is Urien not S tier, man? He's got that bug.
Well, I was kind of conflicted about Urien. I was thinking, like, we were discussing about putting him in A tier.
Yeah.
But after thinking about it, like I just said, his abusable stuff got removed. Well, except that bug, but that will never happen in a match.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's so rare. But his crush counter damage got nerfed, although it's still pretty strong. It's much harder to convert off of it.
Yeah.
EX tackle got nerfed a long time ago. That was one of the other abusable things he had. So in general, although he can still catch you off guard from full screen with a 88 miles per hour tackle.
Yeah, the 88.
He still
has some sticking struggles, you know?
Yeah, his frame traps are kind of bad, but he's got very powerful conversions. So he I guess both of his V triggers are also very strong. So they give him sticking power and mix-up potential. So he's still a character that can turn a match around really easily, like very fast. So yeah, he's definitely a strong character.
We'll still see Dogura and Nemo a lot during the tournaments as well.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Mika. I mean, Mika representation is not too much as well. I mean, her V-Trigger 2 looks promising, and Mika just didn't really get any nerfs. So, her forward hard punch buff is actually pretty good. Being able to cancel it, because then you'll be able to bait V reversals, which makes her stronger in the corner. And like I said, her V-Trigger 2 mix-ups look strong as well.
Yeah, and her crouching medium punch now works reliably.
Yeah.
It had consistency issues in the past. A lot of our Mika players complained about it, so that got fixed. In general, she's just a better character with more options now that you have 2 V triggers.
She's pretty much just in the same spot.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Nash now. Nash, I think I would have put him like probably B last season. So I think he just moved up 1 notch just because universal buffs with the neutral. I mean, Nash's zoning game is a little bit better, even though Capcom wants him to be an offensive character. It's just all of his anti-airs now work more consistently.
Yeah, he can convert his like neutral game, his anti-airs and zoning into pressure a little bit more easily, just because everything's much more consistent. They've been buffing a lot of things they want you to use, like that target combo into V skill. His V trigger 2 seems a really strong like mix-up tool, even those 3 bars.
Yeah.
His V trigger 1 is a little bit worse, I would say.
Yeah, because of the scaling nerf.
Yeah, quite a bit worse. Yeah, but he's still got like tools. He's another versatile character, although he doesn't have a reversal or a 3-frame normal like people always like to point out. He definitely has a lot of potential to have very oppressive pressure, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
with the right setups and all. So yeah, it deserves to be in this tier, I think.
Okay, moving on, we got Chun-Li. Chun-Li, man, like I said, we were really conflicted with this one. Like, we wanted to put her in A, but we really wanted a top 10 list. So for Chun-Li, I guess what held us back was just the fact that even though her anti-air did get buffed, her back hard kick, it's still not an anti-air that covers all angles. So she kind of has some like blind spots or dead zone spots, you know?
Yeah, the big issue is that back hard kick is really reliable at beating cross-ups or jump-ins over her head. So, and standing hard kick is the other anti-air, right? That didn't get buffed, so it's maybe a little bit more, a little less consistent against heavy jump-ins. But the other issue is that it's kind of slow and only covers jump-ins from really far away. So Chun-Li's options to anti-air are either, walking forward, and you can do that with a good walk speed and then use back hard kick, or just hold it. And sometimes you have to, because maybe you've thrown a fireball and you're just in time to do an anti-air and you can't because
what about
you don't
standing
have
light
one.
kick, Mir? What about standing light kick, man?
We've seen that used in the tournament, and again, it does work just because of how long range is, right? But as soon as people catch onto it, you're
just look at the hitbox, man. Look at the hitbox.
You're going to get destroyed.
Surprise.
So Chun-Li is a character with a lot of options, but she has a glaring weakness, which is this lack of anti-airs at a very common range for jump-ins, which is peculiar, right? Like, usually you don't jump over Chun-Li's head or from really far away. You jump in at the right distance, and at the right distance, Chun-Li cannot do anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a very big weakness in her game. But she has really strong throw bait with instant air legs, good poking. Like she is supposed to be a poking character mainly, but she also has powerful offensive options. So definitely deserves to be here for sure.
Yeah. If anything, she's right at the top of B+.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Ibuki. So Ibuki, this is a strange one because when we read those patch notes, man, we thought Ibuki was bad, and she is one of the most nerfed characters of Season 3, but her neutral kit is still intact, and every nerf of her revolved in some way or another between mix-ups or her V-Trigger 1. However, her V-Trigger 2 is all about mix-ups. So
yeah, the only notable nerf that's related to her neutral game was crouching medium punch being nerfed a little bit in recovery, right? Just not to spam it too much. But still, yeah, she definitely has good approach still. And EX Kunai wasn't nerfed as much as we thought it was. she still has a lot of ways to get in and then push her mix up with her V triggers, especially V trigger 2, like you said.
But yeah, her V trigger 2 is really good, really good. You could even stop people from like neutral jumping or jumping away with it. Really good conversions. So it's a good replacement for her V trigger 1. But yeah, I think they went a little overboard on some of Ibuki's mix-ups, but she's still fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Karin. Karin's strange spot too. I mean, she did get some buffs too around her neutral game as well, and she'll always be like the, at least a high mid-tier character because of her insane conversions. But now, like with the top tier characters and her really low HP, I just don't think her kit completely complements it like Akuma does, for example.
Yeah, she's very strong on the ground, and that's kind of like her thing.
Yeah.
She has very strong footsie tools, and although her anti-airs are a little bit better now, they're still not up to par, I think.
Yeah.
So and like removing that corner mix-up from the Tenko juggle, that's pretty harsh. Although you can still do it, it's much harder to make it very ambiguous. Yeah, overall she got nerfed a little bit and didn't get enough.
Yeah, they nerfed some of her neutral tools
say.
as well, man, like her standing medium kick and such. So
yeah,
and her V triggers weren't always like the craziest thing, and her V trigger 2 is not adding anything super crazy to her as well. So
yeah,
she's just kind of a character that's just a result of not moving up, basically.
Yeah, although she got changed quite a bit, like we said, she's still a solid character. That's why she's in B+. Like B+ doesn't mean that they're bad characters at all.
Yeah,
it's just that they have some weakness or
Absolutely.
no abusable tool.
Yeah, these are all characters that are in a good spot. So next up we got Birdie. So I should mention that Topanga put Birdie as S tier, but I don't agree with this. I just feel that since Birdie got 2 big hits to his defensive options, his EX grab is no longer throw invincible. I think that was a massive nerf to Birdie. And what else did they nerf defensively? His bullhorn, he doesn't move back as much, so it's much more punishable if he likes to use it in neutral. I think those 2 defensive options really hurt Birdie, in the sense that he would drop down a bit.
Birdie's another one of those characters that had a couple of things that were a little bit abusable before.
Yeah.
For the wrong reasons, maybe. You wouldn't intentionally abuse them all the time, like the bullhorn being kind of like a backswing ball. That wasn't really something you do intentionally, but it would work out in your favor most of the time. And overall, he is a character with a lot of like powerful tools on the ground again, and strong conversions and really high damage. So I guess they needed to hit those things. They made him a little bit too powerful, I would say. And now it's just a very strong character with a powerful neutral game and strong conversions without the abusable stuff. So
the sole reason too that Topanga put him in S tier is they said because they buffed his crouching medium punch, so it's like unstoppable now. It's like one of the best, if not the best, anti-air in the entire game. Just completely unstoppable. And the fact that Birdie's good against top tier characters in general. He's good against top tier characters, which I agree with for sure. So, like I said, if maybe we could have swapped M Bison with Birdie, like I said, but I wouldn't put him A+ though. Okay, moving on to Dhalsim. Dhalsim's got a lot of potential this season, and I wouldn't be surprised that when we make another tier list mirror, we'll put Dhalsim even higher in the future. His V trigger 2 mainly is what we're talking about. It seems so good.
Yeah, I really like how they designed this V trigger. I think it's a very fitting, and it's very anime. It's like Venom, right? But I just like the potential that it has and how it fits, the design of the character. And the thing that I really like about Dhalsim in Street Fighter V is the fact that they gave him real offense, like a real mix-up that is not, the classic, oh, I'm gonna teleport behind you or in front of you when the fireball's gonna hit. Yeah. It's something much more real, I guess you could say.
And they buffed all of Dhalsim's anti-airs, man, so his neutral's even stronger now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Although he doesn't have the standing jab anti-air anymore, which that was really useful. But
Yeah,
I guess having a crouching anti-air that works as an anti-cross-up.
I think it was a 3-framer too.
Punch.
It was really fast.
Yeah, it was a 3-framer when it hit anti-air. Yeah.
That's true. I didn't think.
And crouching medium punch. Now it's much better as an anti-air. Like I said, it hits cross-ups
and back hard punch.
And back hard punch. Yeah, it's just more consistent, and you can use jumping medium punch to transition into V-skill in the air. Like we said, the new V trigger is very powerful for offense. Overall, yeah, like I think it's in a very good spot.
Okay, let's go on to the B tier list. So this is characters in the middle. So
yeah,
they're
this
not
is characters that are good, but they're not too strong. They're just lacking something.
Or they have some really unfavorable matchups compared to the other characters. Okay, so B tier we have Zangief, Balrog, Fang, Juri, Ryu, Ken, Ed, Alex. So let's start with Zangief. I mean, Zangief is another one of those characters got a whole bunch of nerfs this season. And I mean, they kept on buffing Zangief, man, and then finally they just nerfed him. So now you got a character with a lot of bad matchups with some nerfs. But he still has his EX SPD, man, and that's still what makes him strong. But it's much harder for Zangief to get in now. Especially with that forward medium kick nerf.
Yeah, Zangief is one of those characters that's really hard to balance because if he's too strong, he's just obnoxious to play against. Because it's not... It's a character about 50-50s.
Sorry, I'm thinking about Abigail as you say this. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry, man.
Like most grapplers should be.
I guess should be. There you go.
But yeah, so they decided to nerf some of his conversions. Scratching Light Punch was a very powerful tool, but nerfed. You can no longer chain it. But now he's got, I guess, something else to compensate. Like his Scratching Power Punch now actually works as an anti-air. Before it wasn't reliable.
I got hit with that a few times on the stream, man. I was surprised. I'm like, damn, this anti-air now.
Well, you still have Lariat, and Lariat is powerful anti-air too. But yeah, you have trouble getting in, but when you get it in, if you get the right sequence, you can turn a match around.
Yeah, one EXSPT can still win you the match.
Yeah, unfortunately, V-Trigger 2 is not as good as people hope.
Yeah, that's another reason too.
It's just that V-Trigger 1 helps with his problem, which is getting in, and that's what you want. V-Trigger 2 doesn't really help. It just makes you even scarier.
Right.
If you get trapped, but if you're never getting in, it's not gonna help you.
Okay, moving on to Balrog. So Balrog, another character that got plenty of nerfs. I think it's crouching medium kick into V trigger on block. Crouching medium kick target combo. Sorry, the double stomp.
Yeah.
That being minus was a big nerf. I mean, Balrog just kind of loses pressure after that. And then his tap nerf was pretty big too. I think they went overboard on it, making it like not even throw invincible anymore. It was pretty ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, Balrog's just in a lower spot in general. And Balrog had some bad matchups to begin with in season 2. So
yeah, I guess they didn't want him to use tap as a reversal against throws. Maybe they could have changed it so only the first few frames were.
So what does he use for? Just killing people.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like, what is it used for now? Like, I don't understand. So, I don't know. I still think they should have changed the 3 button hold down and then just keep it the same.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Balrog, like we said, Balrog got nerfs. He's definitely got problems, like problem matchups.
Yeah.
But he still has very good comeback potential with V-Trigger 1, and V-Trigger 2 is still a good choice. Well, still. I mean, it is a good choice now because people have found a lot of creative ways to use it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. It's interesting to watch.
Giving Balrog a command grab, even though it's not high damage, it's high stun.
Yeah.
That's scary.
And multiple uses too. That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Way better than Ultra 2 in Street Fighter 4.
Oh yeah, for sure.— definitely. But yeah, like he still has that really, really high damage and combat potential. It can hit you from full screen without you even knowing about it. It still has the tools to win. It just has a couple of big issues here and there, I would say.
Okay, moving on to Fang. I don't know anything about this character. I just threw him here.
Well, I do know something, and a lot of people wanted to, like in tier lists, to put him a little bit higher because they're saying that he's much stronger now. Like he's just way more consistent with his neutral and his pressure and his strings in general. V trigger 2, a lot of people are saying that that's very powerful as well.
Okay.
He's in a better spot. Like he's not bad.
He even has a V trigger 1 now.
Even the V trigger 1's better.
Yeah, his V skill actually it hits you in V trigger 1. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can imagine Fang doing well against some matchups. So.
Yeah, the thing about Fang is that he's supposed to be like a tricky. Like it's a zoning character that transitions into mix up close because you can, cross people up and then you have the cloud on the ground, and so it's a very interesting playstyle in that sense. And there's not a lot of Fang players anymore. I mean, when Shen was playing Fang, he was really trying hard, and Shen is an amazing player. I mean, he definitely made Fang look better than he was. In season 1, but now I'm not so sure if we'll see Fang representation anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. I still one big thing about Fang though, like not in terms of balance, but just his poison, man. I still think it was a really huge missed opportunity. It's still not something that's threatening or really unique, honestly. And I wish they would have changed the way his poison works in this game in general.
Yeah, there's no real threat for it, running out. You can just wait it out sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to Juri. Mir, why isn't Juri A+? She won Evo Japan.
I know, right? I mean, we must be really wrong, or maybe not. Well, the thing about Juri is that she's a better character now, and the fact that she's in B tier, again, B tier, even though it's like right at the end of our list, or almost at the end of our list, doesn't mean that she's a bad character. She's just got issues. And the issue with Juri is that she still has kind of trouble in a lot of situations. Like her V reversal is kind of bad, for example. That's still like a thing that didn't get fixed. Her DP, I don't know.
It's way better now, man.
They say they increased the frames, like invincibility frames.
Yeah.
Unless you're like John Takeuchi that blocks with his
man,
face.
Infiltration definitely read those notes because he landed it like 10 times on him.
Yeah.
And that's another reason we should point out too, man. I mean, Infiltration had to do a lot of risks with Juri in that match in general. No exaggeration. 10 EXDPs. This is no exaggeration. And yeah, like she definitely still, like I said, she's got a lot of tools. Just none of them are really super strong. And then the whole stock system just always will have Juri low unless they really give her something crazy. Her V Trigger 2 did nothing for her, right?
Yeah, exactly. V Trigger 2 is kind of underwhelming.
So I mean,
V Trigger 1 is different now because it's 2 bars, but it's worse. He has no sticking power. Zoning is like subpar, but overall she's got a bunch of tools, so she can still work. Like she can still win matchups. It's just that, it's just that she's got issues for sure.
And like I said, like Infiltration played the entire tournament with Menat, and then he used Juri for one specific player. So,
like, don't get me wrong, Juri got some nice buffs, like the target combo hitting crouchers. But that's I don't think that's enough to put her like an 8 here or something like that. I think she deserves to be here.
Right. Okay, moving on, we have Ryu.
Oh my God, Ryu.
Ryu. So Ryu, like I said, I think he's strong this season. I don't think he's OP in anything. His V Trigger 1 has got really buffed, but it still lasts a second. And like he got some good buffs. He used to be one of the worst characters in season 2. One of the worst characters. But now he's just good. He's just good now.
He's just got a little bit like some issues here and there, and he's a strong contender for sure. Just not at the level of Urien, Chun-Li, those characters in B+. his issues are that he's kind of inconsistent at range. Like his poking is not that good just because he's kind of short himself, so doesn't reach very far.
He's a very meter-dependent character too. I feel like
true.
He has to use EX Fireball in a lot of situations to get control of the match. And then when his V-Trigger 1 is up, once again, he's got to do a lot of EX Fireballs to get control of it. And I feel at that point, like, he loses a lot of his comeback factor. Most of his new combos he gets require some really big hits, like jump-in combos to land in general.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, and his pressure in the corner is, like, kind of flimsy. Like, you can get out of it.
Yeah.
Pretty easily, unless Ryu spends meter, and you don't have infinite meter, so eventually you're gonna get out of there. And yeah, it just has issue to sticking with the opponent, and although he
really
has
helps him stick a lot too, though.
That's true, but still, like we said, you need EX Fireball. Like everything else is minus or punishable, even like even Donkey Kick, which is a nice addition.
Super minus on block.
Yeah, super minus. You cannot use it everywhere.
Yeah.
From anything. Like it doesn't combo from everything. So
right.
So yeah, like you have to pick your spot with me for sure. But he still has the tools to win.
Yeah.
He's a versatile character. He just has issues.
Okay, moving on to Ken. Ken, I know it's kind of funny we have Ken and Ryu in the same tier. But, I mean, not much to say. I mean, V-Trigger 2 is pretty cool. Doesn't add too much to Ken. The Ken players still like to stick with 1, even though I did see Momochi use it a lot. Ken can use it in some matchups versus Fireballs, but Ken just seems to be kind of in just no really significant buffs in general for Ken. So
yeah,
we just kind of feel
he got nerfed with the throw loop and a bunch of other changes. He got some other nice things, but yeah, like you said, V-Trigger 2 doesn't add a lot. V-Trigger 1 still seems to be the better choice, and with V-Trigger conversions in general being nerfed across the board, kind of hurts Ken as well. You know, his V-Trigger 1 conversions and the comeback factor out of it was really crazy.
Like, Ken still has a throw loop, but it still has to be frame perfect.
Yeah,
throw loop.
And it's with walking too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't as crazy it was last season. But if it was, then I would put him in a spot higher for sure.
Yeah, probably. He just has the same issues that Ryu has, in the sense that not everything works at all times. You know, you kind of have to pick your moment a little bit more than you used to. Like, you're not Akuma where you can flash yellow and get in.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Ed now. Ed. It's funny too, because on the Topanga list, where did they put Ed? I think they put him in A, didn't they?
They put him in A, but they also said they had no idea about where to put him.
Yeah. And then it just... Hold on, let me see if I can find out where they mentioned Ed. This is really funny.
Yeah, well, anyways, Ed definitely got consistency buffs, which is what he needed. One of the biggest problems with Ed was the fact that you do a combo and it would whiff, and you were like, what? And then you would get punished and die. So, I mean, Psycho Upper is still probably the slowest reversal in the game, right?
Yeah, but it's still really good, man.
It's still a good reversal. Like, goes really far.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah, it's just more consistent now, and V-Trigger 2 is a powerful V-Trigger for sure. I like that a lot. V-Trigger 1 still has its uses, especially if you have developed some kind of nasty setup that you want to employ, but V-Trigger 2 is much more immediate, and it just adds to his damage quite a bit, and conversions.
They nerfed his backdash too. Yeah,
that's true. Well, that's because you could get out of strings that you were not really supposed to.
Come on, man. It's Ed.
It was very powerful.
Give me a break.
It was very powerful.
Please.
Well,
they were like, their Mago's like, let's see now. Why is Ed in A rank? And then they're like, they just threw him in there because they didn't know the character, and they just started laughing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We need more Ed players, man. Come on. We need more Ed players.
We need more Ed players for sure.
Yeah.
Ed is such a cool character, but I mean, I guess it's just unfortunate that he has some pretty big weaknesses. Although he has good anti-airs and whatnot. And
Yeah.
it's just
they're a little on the slow side, though. They're a little on the slow side.
Yeah.
Standing medium
they're
kick, anti-air doesn't do much damage, and his 2 kicks is not that it's not that fast. Yeah, it's not that fast. Okay, Alex. How did Alex get here? Why is Alex in B tier?
I guess a lot of people are not liking his V Trigger too, but I think it's a strong. I think it's a strong addition.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine, but I don't know. Wait, I gotta play something myself for sure.
I guess it doesn't give you the fabled 4 hard punch that's +10 on hit, so you can link everything after it. But he's got some nice buffs. His anti-airs work more consistently now. Crouching
his 4 hard punch got buffed for the millionth time.
Yeah, like they really want you to use that normal. It's
like, and nothing.
It's like
else.
a notice me buff. It's like, yo, there's normal good.
I always felt that Alex is a strong online character, because in the online world of Street Fighter V, you get away with a lot of jumps and a lot of dashes. It's a lot more frantic, and if Alex can get in with jumps and he can get in with dashes, then he's smiling. He can get a lot. He can get away with frame traps like crouching light punch and a forward hard punch. And silly stuff like that, man. I mean, Alex is great online, but when you play him offline in tournaments, like we see Gunfight, who's definitely the best Alex. When you see him in tournaments, you can definitely see the character struggle, man, to get in the same way.
His mobility is very telegraphed because he's kind of slow. His jump is a little bit floaty, and if you get in with air stampede, good players are actually going to anti-air you.
Yeah.
With specials, you cannot really do that.
And he's meter dependent too. He's got to use it for the chops, and he's got to use it for the EX Stampede just so he can get in half the time. You know.
Yeah, and the command grabs give you no Oki. Like he's got definitely big issues, but it's got comeback potential. His V triggers are very useful.
His V trigger too helps his neutral, but the problem is that it's a V trigger. Right? And you still have to make the right read after you succeed in that neutral. So, but I don't think Alex is so weak that we have to put him any lower than B. Yeah.
No, he got some nice buffs.
Yeah.
He's not like he's the opposite of a versatile character. He's very, like I said, he's very telegraphed in what he does. But if you can get the right sequence, he can win easily because he's got a lot of tools for that. Tonga headbutt, stampede. You have a lot of built-in mix-ups, I guess. And it definitely isn't as weak as he used to be.
All right, let's get to the good stuff there. Let's talk about the low tiers. Well, I wouldn't even say low tier. Well, yeah, let's call them low tiers. I guess
they're the lowest.
It's the lowest category, so let's say low tiers. Okay, C rank. I mean, technically, shouldn't we say C plus, Mir? Or is that just like sugarcoating it? That's probably
minus.
We have a B plus. Why don't we have a C plus? All right, let's just say C, because C sounds just more shameful. All right. The bottom 3 characters. I mean, you guys probably figured it out by now, but it's Sakura, Zeku, and Vega. So I'm just gonna say some general things here. First off, you'll notice that Sakura and Zeku are actually the last 2 characters to come to the game.
Yes.
And they need patching, I guess. They are just characters that haven't been patched, including Zeku. And another thing too is that all 3 of these characters have weak V triggers in general. Weak V triggers in general. So let's start with Sakura. I mean, a lot of players consider her to be the weakest Shoto. I think Sakura is pretty good, actually. I don't think she's C-ish, but listening to what everyone is saying and the points that they make, it does make sense that why they would put her in C. Topanga even said she should be D, like the worst character in the game. I think that's going a little crazy.
But, yeah, that is way too much, I think.
Yeah.
But I can see it, when you're comparing her to Ryu or Ken, she doesn't really add anything that's too
her fireball's
special.
way too weak, man, to hang with those characters. I mean, she has some huge issues with that. Her standing light kick is unbelievable. Don't get me wrong. Her standing light kick is crazy.
Very, very powerful.
But it's still a light attack that will get crushed by just stronger normals like Akuma crouching hard punch or medium kicks and such. it's tough, man. She has like, and then the conversions from that aren't insane, right? And she's just a character that needs to be played up close. She needs to frame trap. She needs to throw a lot. We see Kindevu actually did really well with her. Got top 16 with her in Evo Japan. But nonetheless, he was still doing a lot of risky uppercuts during his block screens. A lot of Tatsu -2 loops, which I do personally online.
She looks like an Akuma without any of the cheap stuff. Like, she's a very honest Akuma, which is surprising to say. And that really hurts. Like, that shows. Akuma's in the top tier and Sakura's in the bottom tier.
And her V-skill is garbage.
Yeah, the V-skill is like a really bad demon flip, and you cannot even EX it.
Yeah, it's absolute garbo.
So, yeah, so it's a character, like, the thing about C tier compared to B tier is that B tier is characters that have tools, but they have issues.
Yeah.
Big issues. The thing about C tiers is that their tools aren't even that good, and that's the problem with Sakura. Another thing that I really don't like is the fact that V trigger 2, I think, the one that empowers your Tatsus and your uppercuts, it actually removes tools. You don't have a safe Tatsu anymore. You don't have that opportunity. You're just gonna get punished, which is kind of weird, I think.
But you can cancel from a standing leg kick, which you can't do with the EX Tatsu, I should mention.
That's true, but if they block it, well...
Then it's lights out, yeah.
Yeah, it's lights out.
But another thing with Sakura as well is if they buff her even slightly in certain parts, she can go way, way up. Because of that standing leg kick. It's so good. So, you know... Yeah.
Yeah, I think they took the safe approach with her, just like they did with Zeku, and that's what we're gonna discuss next.
Yeah. Zeku. So Zeku, I mean, the problem with Zeku is he just hasn't been changed, man. He hasn't been changed. His patch notes are abysmal. They're just the shortest patch notes out of every character. And his V-Trigger 2 is absolute ass. It's the worst V-Trigger in the game.
It's like a Shinryuken that sucks.
It is so bad, Mir. It is so bad.
Oh, you don't have to convince me. It's like,
it's ridiculous.
Minus 28 on block, crush on recovery.
I am serious, man. I cannot believe that V-Trigger got greenlit. How was he not able to land super after that thing? And why is the damage like a jab? It's so bad.
I understand what they were going for. They were like, oh, we don't want to build Zeku as a character that needs V-Trigger, but turns out that this game is kind of built for that, so you've got an issue right there.
It's horrible, Mir. I mean, yeah, you can say, oh yeah, you can use it when they're zoning you with fireballs and it's got some range and stuff, but I mean, who cares? Like, it just doesn't do any damage, man.
And it's not like V-Trigger 1's much better. That's the worst part. You don't really have an option, unfortunately, in that category. And the thing with Zeku is that being a stance character is kind of complicated, and changing stances removes some of your options while giving you new ones. So, like in young Zeku, you have N-tiers, but I mean, you don't have a DP. Like, sometimes it just doesn't work out. Yeah. And old Zeku's probably the better stance, I would say, of the two, or at least it's the one that I like the most.
It's pretty good. I mean, V-Trigger 2 has some issues.
That zoning,
or not V-Trigger 2, stance 2. Why can you say V-Trigger 2? But like his V reversal is still butt.
Yeah, that's true. Like he's got really big issues.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's a complicated character on top of it doesn't really help at all.
Because V-Trigger 1 is good because he's able to slide twice. He can do 3 slides, man.
You can do frame traps, slide into slide.
He's a cool character, man. I think Zeku is one of the coolest characters in the game. So come on, Capcom, stop doing him dirty, man. Give him some love.
Well, what about doing Vega dirty?
Who? Vega? Who? Oh yeah, the last character on our list, and we might as well talk about this character.
Okay, I guess Capcom doesn't really love Vega.
No.
I mean, you would argue that there is only a few Vega players in existence.
Yes.
Ever.
But even the universal buffs hurt Vega, man. Like, all the jumping heavy normals are better now, and Vega can't anti-air for shit. His V-triggers are really weak. Because they buffed his V-trigger 1 for the combos, but then they nerfed the scaling. It doesn't really matter. You know?
Yeah, it's like, you have this character where both his V-triggers are his anti-airs. Turns out you don't always have V-trigger.
Yeah, so that's true. What the heck?
that's kind of like annoying to deal with. I guess that the that spin slash thing that he has is now a better anti-air, but come on.
And they really nerfed his wall dives, man.
Yeah, you cannot steer them at all now.
Jeez.
If you land on the ground without hitting anything, you're like recovering for half the round, so
what's
you're
going
just
on,
gonna
man?
get jumped in.
Ibuki and Borg have like rap sheets of nerfs, but somehow Vega just ends up in C, man. I don't know.
Vega is one of those characters that
C for claw, by the way.
Got changed, but it's not even like I cannot even say that he got buffed. They're like, oh, crouching hard punch is an anti-air now. Is it really though? It still sucks.
Vega took up his mask. His face is just drenched in tears. It's ridiculous.
I think he has to stab himself with that claw of his.
That wouldn't be beautiful though, man. So.
I guess we need some better ending to this. Maybe he'll get removed from the game next season. Who knows?
That's true. All right, well, let's close this up, man. This is a long ass video. I mean, I guess I'll timestamp the categories. So, guys, let me know what your opinion of this tier list is. Please don't take it seriously. If you disagree with anything, though, let me know in the comments for sure. And maybe we'll do this again, maybe mid-season or something, and see how we change our opinions over time. As we see more players, show us the potential of these characters. But, yeah, I'll be sure to list up the Topanga tier list as well in my comments too or something. And then you guys can see it just so you can compare it as well. So, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Really helps out. Really close to that 100K. And, of course, be sure to like the video. It really helps. And, yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
See ya.